Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inside Tiger Football. I'm your host, Mark Frie. Alongside me, as he is each and every week, is the head coach of your Broken Arrow Tigers, David Alexander.
Well, Mark,
you doing okay today, Coach?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. I see you're growing something out. It looks
I am.
good.
I'm going to change the mojo.
Yeah?
Yeah. I want to be like you.
Well, it may take you a while. No,
it might.
Hey, today we're going to take a look back at a hard-fought game against the Union Redskins, and then look forward to district play as your Tigers this week will take on UConn. But, Coach, let's get right to last Friday night's game. Tough loss at Union.
Yeah.
You faced a heck of an opponent. They were strong in every facet.
Yeah, they've shown for the first 3 weeks they're a really good football team. They're obviously ranked number one in the state, and right now they look like a clear favorite. We did not go out there and perform our best. Made mistakes. We had penalties, they didn't. We had turnovers, they didn't. And against a good football team, you make those kind of mistakes, you're going to end up on the short side of the scoreboard.
Well, we're going to get to the highlights in just a second, but let me ask you one question before we get to the first quarter highlights. The very first drive of the game, you stop them 3 and out,
right,
and then you had one of those penalties, and
right,
then they go on in and take advantage of that,
right,
and get a touchdown out of it. And from there, it seemed like you were fighting uphill.
Yeah.
The rest of the game.
It is. I consider those turnovers. When
yeah.
you have a team off the field, that's a turnover. And we had a block punts in the game. Those are turnovers. When you give the team the ball on the plus 20-yard line, those are turnovers. Even though our offense never handed them the football, we give them a short field. We give them extended drives.
Yeah.
On a third down, we're off the field. You give them a penalty, give them a first down. That's an extra possession for them and one less possession for our offense. And that's mistakes that cannot happen against good football teams.
Yeah. Well, let's get right to the highlights, to the unfriendly confines of Union Tuttle Stadium.
What a great camera angle.
Yeah, that's it's making me a little
nauseous, a little seasick. I think we look good. We come out of the huddle, we looking good. The helmets, uniforms, fantastic look for us.
It is a good look.
Austin Gilmore. We'll talk about him obviously playing quarterback later, but this is 3 weeks in a row that he's done a really good job on special teams.
Yeah.
He had one miscue that he really regrets, and it's another, it's just something we got to grow up and can't have happen. There's a guy making defense all night, played fantastic, except for maybe they'd probably take 5 or 6 plays back. A couple miscues in the secondary. There's Markel Moses. He did play last week, but he was actually full speed this week and had a fantastic football game. I'm glad that most of these highlights are defense. I'm glad you guys didn't put any clips up there of the offense. There's a mistake by a young defensive end not dropping into his zone, and there's after the extended drive on the penalty. Here's the mistake by Austin. This is a block punt, but if you see, he just kicks it into the backside of the pressure, and the guys blocking for that don't expect him to be kicking in that direction.
Well, and most times he rolls to his right to make that kick. But this one he stepped straight.
I don't know if he has not made an excuse to his credit. He has not said, "Hey, I thought this, I thought that." He just made a bad drop, made a bad kick, and here he comes right back, makes a fantastic kick, kicks it away from the really good returner. This was a play that made us really nervous for the week. The defense, Devin Johnson especially, did a great job playing that play. There's Markel making another good tackle in the backfield, tackle for loss.
So, quick highlights there. You're down 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, and what's the mood on the sideline?
Well, the mood on the sideline was a little bit of shock. We didn't expect to give them 2 quick scores like that. You get the one drive, should be off the field, and then the miscommunication in the secondary to give them a touchdown. Right? And then the block punt, they get the ball at the 20-yard line. You're not going to stop anybody that good from only 20 yards out. So we settled down there a little bit. Now we will give up another touchdown to make it 21-0. And I told the boys at halftime, when we get to the halftime stats, I'll tell you, my fault. I didn't get them ready. But from the halftime on, I think we played a little better. The wide-eyedness kind of left.
Yeah.
We've got a great team. But we're playing against a team that executed flawlessly almost all night. You could look at that film and not see very many plays where they didn't have 11 guys doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing. And you could see 20 plays with the Broken Arrow Tigers. We didn't have 11 guys executing either the offense or defense. And that's something we're going to have to get fixed going into district play.
Well, let's get back to the highlights now. Second quarter.
Great rally of the football here. You're going to see a bunch of guys in white shirts show up. Those receivers are fantastic football players. Gage Kaiser right here. This is 2 weeks in a row. That man has played fantastic football. He's a great player. He's just a junior. He's probably been our most productive guy on either side of the ball through the first 3 weeks. There's a play that's just one missed block away from being, instead of being a 6-yard run's a 50-yard run. Tried to settle the young quarterback here by running him a little bit, and it's a good job by him getting some yards. Not quite enough to get a first down. This is a fantastic punt by Gilmore. Almost get it the 1 yard line, 2 yard line, but a great job again by him. The reverse to number 11. The guy's a really, really good football player, and great job by Kaiser stretching it out and letting his teammates rally around and keep that from being a big play. Their young quarterback, not young, right? Their experienced senior quarterback was fantastic. We talked about him last week's show. He's not fantastic, exceptional at any one thing. He's just excellent at everything, and he's a winner. He was 24-28. We just really couldn't get him out of rhythm. We substituted Austin Gilmore in here, and not that Austin's decision making was perfect. It wasn't, but what it was, he made decisions and he moved the offense and he got us some points on the board and did some really good things.
How about this punt?
This is fantastic, right? Just everything he did, almost everything he did was perfect Friday night. Defense coming up with some nice big plays right here. As a whole, this was the one play that they did all night about 5 or 6 times that hurt us. We didn't have an answer for their sprint out game. Great play by Markel. Almost an interception. That would have been big. Carter Key, young sophomore linebacker, making a tackle. He played a few plays like a sophomore, but most of the night he played like an upperclassman. Good job by Austin. Called quarterback draw here again. Trying to stay ahead of the sticks.
So you make the quarterback change, and we do see that from that point forward, the offense starts moving the ball a little bit. In the second half, they move it enough to get on the scoreboard. And how hard is that, not just for the 2 young men that are trading out, but also for the rest of the team to different personality?
Sure, it is. It's different, but during the middle of the game, it's not that difficult. I don't want to make any excuses for anybody. So everybody has to be able to react. New quarterback comes in, they get to practice. Austin had practiced with the first team. He was probably getting 25 or 30% of the reps, but he had practiced with the center and with the offensive line and the running back, so it wasn't like it was anything new. And he did a great job. He came in and got us a few first downs there and got him kind of loosened up for the second half. We told both quarterbacks at halftime that Austin was going to start, and that Scotty would come in unless Austin took the team down and scored. And Austin, the first 2 times we got the ball in the second half, Austin took the team down and scored, so he got to finish out the half.
Yeah. Well, we'll get back to the rest of the highlights of the Union game in just a little bit. But right now, before we go to break, we want to take you inside the Saturday morning training room, where less than 12 hours after the game ends, treatment begins.
Benefit on Saturday morning treatments is that we're able to evaluate injuries that maybe happened on the field, reevaluate injuries. Also, we're able to get in a good one-on-one time with rehab.
There you go. I'm going to stretch it right. Keep going that stretch right through there. There you go.
Having our team doctor out here is a big benefit too, to look at more serious injuries.
It's really nice to get a doctor's opinion on the sideline at the football game, but also a follow-up just the day after. A lot of injuries can present just slightly differently from the night before to the next morning, so it's a great opportunity to go ahead and get some answers quickly, get a course of treatment planned, see if we need to go ahead and get some films as an x-rays or MRIs done, and we can kind of facilitate that a little quicker if we're doing stuff on that Saturday morning.
There's some like where we suspect a fracture or something, where we want to reevaluate it on that Saturday morning treatment, where we could tell them to go get an x-ray or something like that on that Saturday morning at our clinic. If they weigh something on that kind of hurts right there, because then they're missing Monday morning practice or missing Monday practice. Or if there's a really good ankle sprain, it is really beneficial to come in to get that taken care of, because that extra treatment will possibly help you be back out on the field quicker.
If a kid got injured on Friday night, that's already, if we don't see them until Monday morning treatment or even Monday at practice, that's 2 days in the healing process that we've lost. One of our jobs is to help maybe expedite that healing and provide a conducive healing environment, and the faster we can do that, the better. If we're not seeing them until Monday morning, then like I said, that's 48 hours of time lost, where we could have instructed them on some exercises to do, proper course of treatment such as ice, stretching, so those little things. Every minute counts when it's season time, because you only have so many days before the next game rolls around, and a lot of these boys were counting on being on the field from week to week.
I make notes to myself where it's like, I know I need to tell this kid. I will also let his position coach know that they need to be here at this I try to give them like designated times, pretty much before the end of the treatment. Like tomorrow will be 8 to 9. I'll tell them be here at 8:15 at the latest.
Saturday mornings, usually anywhere from 6 to 20, really depends on the night. Ankles, knees have been prevalent lately, shoulders, and some fingers. It's tough on those linemen when they're in fighting every single play, and their hands take a lot of beating. So it really varies, but those are the main ones we see on Saturday mornings. Or a lot of guys will come in just for soft tissue work or some recovery, which will include a whirlpool. We'll do some foam rolling, maybe some trigger point release.
Hit that spot. Go across with the stretch right now, but go bend. The stretch. There you go.
I'm certified in grafting techniques, so I might have them do some TheraBand type stuff with the grafting tools, putting them in movements, functional movements, and help them try to relay down those tissues that if they had a strain or some type of tightness going on, or helps with sprains too. So, or if we're dealing with some swelling, it'll help kind of push some swelling out.
Now reverse your body and sit back. Now you're straight on with the door, sit back. There you go. Yeah, now you have to stand back up and go across.
Can't stress enough how beneficial it is to come in.
At St. John, you're not the patient in 201. You're a 7-month survivor. You're not the heart attack victim on the 4th floor. You're hero to Ava, Charlie, and Caleb. You're more than a diagnosis or database entry. You're the reason we exist. Our entire staff is committed to making you stronger. It's why Tulsans, for 85 years and counting, choose the health family of St. John.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football. And Coach, let's talk a little bit about that training room and just how important that is to your overall program.
And we're so lucky. We've got 2 great trainers in Andrea and Daniel. They are professional. They love these kids and treat them great. They've trained a full staff of students to help in there. They can tape ankles, they can make ice, they can do all the modalities to help the kids get back from injury or just bumps and bruises. And without Andrea and Daniel and their staff, just the little ankle sprains or the sprained fingers or the sore wrists and all that stuff would take much longer to get healthy. They're a huge asset. I can't say nothing about them, both their professionalism and their knowledge and what they do for our kids.
Yeah, they're great, and they even treat 44-year-old ex-athletes.
I heard
had a little water skiing
heard about
mishap
that.
this summer, and they got me back on my feet. So
Got you ready for your performances downtown. That's
they
great.
did, yeah. They're amazing. The facilities are great, and it's really changed a lot.
It is.
for high
Well,
school.
it's great. It is a change. It's been 6 or 8 years ago when high schools this big started getting full-time training staffs. They're not hired by Broken Arrow. They're hired through the physicians we use, and they're on loan to us, which is it's great for them. They don't have to sit in an office. They get to work with kids every day and do the things they love, and they do a fantastic job. We really appreciate them.
They certainly do. All right, folks, let's get back to the second half highlights now. Union will get the ball to start.
Well, we should have gotten this kick a little deeper in the end zone. This kid right here is actually the fastest kid on Union's team, and we did a good job just cutting off his angles and making him cut back to keep this from going a little farther, because we make 2 big plays and get a 3 and out, even though they got the ball on the plus 50-yard line.
Right.
Great play there. That was Devin Johnson. He's done a fantastic job. Now that the last 2 weeks, now that he's back in his normal position. Big play, Markel getting through the block. A negative pass play. You don't see that very often. Quarterback throws the ball and they get negative yardage. This is their #1 receiver. I guess they're trying to show that they might fake that, just put that on film. We appreciated the 4-yard punt.
Yeah.
This is nice. We get the ball, and we're actually going to go down here and score, kind of give us a little juice. Jamal Shaw doing a great job getting that extra 4 or 5 yards right there. A little Warren Leak. I would keep waiting for him to pop an 80 or 90 yarder.
Oh, it'll happen.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
Sure it will. Austin making a decision right here. He didn't like what he saw, so he's just going to pull it down and run. Great job by him. And plus 15 yards. That's always nice. Warren Leak with a great run here. That's one he almost pulls his toe out of it. He would have scored on that if he'd got his toe out of that. Good throw by Austin down to Sammy Akim. Young man who's really done a good job growing up into going to be a really good football player. Nice to get some points on the board right there. All right, we're trying not to kick the ball to one of those really fast guys right here. Put Riley in and just kind of be a little pooch kick. Good job covering, keeping the ball out of their speedster's hands. More defensive highlights. Gage Kaiser. Mix up in coverage.
Yeah.
It's just something. Execution level, just can't have mistakes. Just the wide-eyedness of the game. Even some of these veterans, this is their first time to play in Tuttle. Even our seniors never played in Tuttle Stadium, and you could see it in their faces.
And was that just simply cornerback thought different coverage, let the guy go, and safety just wasn't?
Safety thinking he's making a communication call to the corner not seeing the call or not hearing the call, and them not making eye contact. They got to make eye contact every time before the ball snapped. We did hold him to a field goal. Jake Frie, not our normal return guy, but can run and can do some things. And here we're going to come out and put a nice little drive together. I keep waiting for number 9 right there. That's Brendan Franklin to have a big game. A kid with a lot of talent. Here, this was a surprising call even to me. We're throwing a screen pass to Jamal Shaw. He's got a cast on one hand. He can't catch very well with two hands. He made a fantastic catch with one. This was unbelievable. I actually think Trenton missed the ground with his foot more than just tripped. He turned and missed the ground.
So it was not the turf monster, it was the air monster.
I think he just missed it.
Yeah.
Here's a young man that loves his teammates, sacrificing his body to get that last yard for the touchdown. Great job by Austin getting in there.
Good pocket presence, see the hole and tuck it and go.
He wasn't real excited about his read in the pass, so he made a decision. Let's pull it down and run. He did a good job. Good coverage downfield, just 4-man rush, got everybody else in coverage. We usually like to blitz, but So 2 negative plays right there. It was a good job.
So you go to the halftime down 21-0. Now you're down 24-10.
Right.
You put together 2 good drives, and you've had a couple of good defensive stands. And going into that fourth quarter, I mean, the game's still there. It's still
It
in
is.
reach.
We've got a chance. We've got a chance. What we need now is we needed defense to make one big play for us. We needed a short field.
Yeah.
Union's so good offensively. By this time they started milking the clock. What I mean by that is instead of being in hurry-up mode, they were coming to line scrimmage, checking the clock, checking the sidelines for new plays, burning almost 30 seconds every time they snapped the football. We needed a turnover, and we were not able to generate a turnover to give our offense a short field.
All right, well, let's get back to it. Final quarter of play.
They did a good job in the fourth quarter mixing things up. This is the one time number 11 really hurt us on a play that we should have had defensed. That little guy right there. That one, number 21, is just a sophomore. He scares me to death because as a freshman last year, he was on their 4x1 team.
Yeah.
He's going to be around a while. This one we should have had defense. Devin Johnson actually picked our own corner, and we bumped into each other and allowed the receiver to get in the corner of the end zone. This was the backbreaker right here.
Yeah.
A breakdown by a senior on the punting team, a guy that should not have been tired, because our offense had been out there getting ready to punt. Here there's a fumble. The ball actually laid there for 4 or 5 seconds. And there's Devin Johnson dropping an interception. Another chance for a big play by us. There's a fumble that we don't get and an interception we don't get that could have changed, kept them from scoring on that last drive. Just those turnovers that we didn't get that just you got to have in a game like that. We're busting off some nice runs here, but we had a penalty, had a negative play. I wasn't going to go for a 4th and 18. If it would have been 3rd and 8 or 4th and 8, excuse me, I would have gone ahead and go for it in that because we're at midfield. But 4th and 18, let's punt it and see if we can get the defense get a turnover on this side of the field. And there they call him down. The ball's on the ground. I thought we had a chance for another turnover. End of the game right here, right? Just one play left. Austin does a good job. Hey, he's fighting his guts out to the very end. He showed a lot of heart second half. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, I think your team showed some guts in the second half and
they did.
Made it a game, made it a fight. And Coach, now we're done with our non-district games,
right.
and you had a close, tough loss to Owasso, a dominating win against Bentonville, and then this loss to Union. What do you take out of these first 3 games?
Well, okay, this is a very good question. I think I've got a good answer for you.
Okay, let's find out.
Well, there's no moral victories in losing.
Right.
We want to win. We're out there to win the ball games. Coaches, we practice every day. We see these kids. We kind of know exactly where we're at with kids and with the team. Playing a team as good as Union reaffirms where your weaknesses and where your strengths are. Okay, so now going into district play, we have to address our strengths and we have to accent those, and we have to know where we know where our weaknesses are at now. We've got to fix our weaknesses. We have to make our weaknesses strengths. Going into that, so that will be our goal through district play. All right, accent our positives and strengthen our weaknesses. And if we can do that, then I like our chances of being where we want to be in a few weeks.
All right, well, we'll preview that first district matchup a little bit later in the show. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, it's time to meet another assistant coach, and this time it's somebody you may know pretty well. We'll be right back.
This will be fun.
It's no secret that Oklahoma schools have their challenges. We all want to help our schools excel, and TTCU has a great way to get involved. Right now, when you open a TTCU checking account with a School Pride Visa check card, you'll get $50, and so will your school. Each time you swipe, they donate. So far, they've given nearly $500,000 to local schools. Together, we can make a real difference for our kids. Cash for you and your school? Check at TTCU.
I don't know. Well, the 2012 year where we won conference championship and the Liberty Bowl was a magical type of year. All the guys that I played with, also, I've built so many great relationships that are going to last a lifetime. There's a bunch of dudes. I've been 3 or 4 weddings as a best man and as groomsman, just for guys that I played ball with and were on the offensive line. Again, that 2012 year was just such a special year. A bunch of great group of guys that really molded together as one, and every football team has kind of a clique. Everyone has their own cliques and everything, but when it comes down to it, when you're in that locker room, it molded together just perfect. And there's a bunch of people that I still keep up with to this day that are there's one guy, our running back in the NFL now, made the 53-man roster with the St. Louis Rams, and Trey Watts. We keep up. Our quarterback, who's now in Las Vegas coaching, it's just a bunch of a great group of guys that if I could relive it, I would absolutely would in a heartbeat. Honestly, I think relating to these kids is a little too easy for me, just because how much younger I am than all the other coaches. As age difference, I'm a lot closer to them as the other guys. Me being 23 years old, some of these kids are 15, 16, 17, maybe 18 years old. So I'm really not that far from them. I graduated in high school in 2010, and it's 2014 right now. So I can relate to them in the fact that it wasn't too long ago for me, as being a player, and I was just a player this past fall. And I actually, I think it's been really good for me, and it's been good for them. I think, so. I can be kind of the guy they can come talk to when they're kind of nervous to talk to those older guys about stuff. They come talk to me about different techniques, and I'm, just finishing up playing, I know all the stuff that the technique stuff, the little things that I can help them with being as a player, and if they have questions in life, again, I can relate to them better. So it's been really good for me and them, I think. I am. I absolutely am. Just graduated in May, so I'm trying to build up money and save some money. So once I save up, I'm hoping to get out by the end of the football season. Start getting my own place in January or so, and then I'll have money built up so I can start paying bills and not really get into the red zone, not in the negatives with money and debt. And so that's kind of been the plan. I did not, and I don't, and it's stuff like that Bobby Klink, Coach Klink, is just like that. Him and Coach Walls give me crap about it, but I'm keeping my mom happy because she loves it very much to have me back into the house since my brother's now in college. So she knows that this is just a little bit longer until I'm gone for good. So she's enjoyed it. Right, it has nothing to do with me. It's all about her feelings. I think my dad's mostly cool with it. I stay busy enough, anyways. I'm never there. I wake up early in the morning. It's just like a teaching job. I'm gone all day, so it's not like I'm just kind of using it. I guess I need to start thinking that way, but I guess I'm a little too young to start thinking like that. But I don't know. I'm hoping I've built up, a good business with what I'm doing now, and I like to still be into coaching just because I love football so much, and I like being around these kids and whatnot. But 10, 15 years, man, that's wild. Hopefully I'm married with kids by then. I never know what life has in store, but that'd be good. Oh, he coached me my whole life, man. He starting second grade, I was flag football, and then started pads in 3rd grade, and he was the head coach all the way up. And even in 8th grade, he became the head coach in 8th grade, and then once I got into high school, he became the O-line coach. So I mean, pretty wild, but yeah, he coached me my whole life, and everything that I was able to accomplish and really do as a player and as a person is really mainly focused on him. He taught me everything I knew and know. So yeah, he had a big influence, not just being as a father figure, but as in the football side of things.
So, what can you say? What's it really like having your son on your staff?
Well, he's a grown man. He's a great young man. He's doing a fine job. He's not doing a fine job. He's doing a fantastic job. He understands football. He can relate to these kids. These kids follow him around like the Pied Piper. It's so funny to watch him. He'll walk into a room and there'll be 3 or 4 linemen following him in there. And, Coach Alexander, what about this? And it's pretty cool. He's done a great job. Proud of him.
So if you ever have to get on to him, does Mama ever get on to you?
No, she understands. She understands it's business, and I've gotten on to him, and it's okay. He's, like I said, he's very mature for a guy that's really in his first job. He understands football. He's seen coaches. He's been coached hard by me when he was younger. He was a coach on the field for his team at Tulsa. So he understands getting chewed out and what it really means. It's more about execution in the offense. It's not about personality. I'm not getting on to him because he's a bad guy.
Right.
We've got to get things done. We've got to win football games.
Well, I'm sure that's a thrill to have him on your team.
It is fantastic. It is great.
That's great stuff. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the UConn game and talk about all the great homecoming festivities that will be taking place this week in Broken Arrow. Back after a second.
My Contour helps me discover all new sides to myself, like it knows I'm into sci-fi and personally recommends new things I didn't know existed. Like intergalactic biohumanoid sci-fi, lovable ogre sci-fi, and whatever this is. I just look for the diamonds, and suddenly, I'm into whole new worlds of entertainment. That's why Contour is TV just for me.
For the many sides of you, there's Contour.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football. Coach, let's talk about this week. First of all, let's talk about homecoming. We've got a homecoming parade Thursday night at 6 o'clock down Main Street. How fun is that going to be for you?
That is the coolest thing to be involved with. I love the way the town embraces it. I love the way the high school celebrates it. It's one of the best things that I've ever seen. Yeah. And I've been watching high school football and part of high school football for a long time, and last year's parade was fantastic, and I can't wait for Thursday night.
Just don't fall. Are you going to walk? Are you riding?
I am going to walk. I'm going to walk. I need the exercise. It's good for my heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Just remember, there's some uneven little potholes, so just don't go down.
We're in front of the horses. We're not behind the horses.
That's good planning on your part.
Thank you.
So that happens Thursday night, then Friday night, of course, the game. We'll talk about that in a second. Saturday morning of homecoming weekend, we have a health fair right here on the Broken Arrow High School campus by one of our great sponsors, St. John's BA. That's a free health fair to the community. You want to come out and check that out. And then there's a big homecoming dance Saturday night. So great festivities, and it's exciting.
It's always
time
a
to
fun
be here.
weekend. Yeah. It is. It's great fun.
And what'll be even more fun is a big win against UConn. What do you expect out of UConn?
Well, UConn Millers, young football team, brand new staff.
Yeah.
Their head coach is a guy named Bill Young. Okay, most people would have heard that name. His last job has been the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma State. I've known Bill most of my life, actually. Bill was the defensive line coach for University of Tulsa when I played there. So most of my adult life, I've known Bill. Great man, great football coach. He's trying to change the culture over there, and I look forward to competing with him on Friday night. It'll be a lot of fun.
That should be a great matchup. And again, folks, you can catch all of the coverage of the game on several different options. Whatever device you have, we have you covered. You can catch the game on the radio on 97.1 The Sports Animal. You can catch the game on the internet on arrowvision.tv. You can also catch us out on CBS Game Tracker. And we're very excited about that because we're the only Oklahoma high school to be on that. That's big time,
That is
Coach.
well, it's pretty cool too. If you have gotten on there,
Yeah.
I honestly haven't seen it during the game, thank goodness. But I saw we go back and look at it. It's what a cool thing. If you have to be in your car and where you can't watch it, you get on the game tracker and see what's going on in the play-by-play. It's an awesome tool for the fans.
We're pretty much as high tech as it gets.
Well,
Feels like
we are. We've got guys like you and Steve and running this place.
I just talk. I'm not high tech at all. But we look forward to a great win, a big win, and all
Yeah,
the
we
fun
do
that
too.
comes with homecoming. So
I'm looking forward to the homecoming festivities. Can't wait for the game.
it's going to be great. We look forward to bringing you all the highlights next week. Before we go, we want to thank all of our great sponsors for this show: Cox Business Solutions, St. John of Broken Arrow, TTCU, the Credit Union, First National Bank of Broken Arrow, the Arrow Group, and Bank of Oklahoma. We want to thank our Friday night crew and the studio crew. For head coach David Alexander, I'm Mark Frie. We'll see you next week.